I work at a spa in Bali. Last month, an American woman stormed in, demanding our emergency distress package. I explained we don't have one. She stared at me like I'd announced we don't have oxygen. What do you mean you don't have emergency services? I'm having a crisis. She showed me her phone 17 unread work emails. From her vacation that she'd been on for 6 hours. I suggested our traditional massage. She asked how many emails she could answer during it. I said none phones aren't allowed in treatment rooms. She asked if we had a working massage room, and I said no. She asked to speak with my manager about updating our business model for modern professionals. She booked a 30-minute session instead of 90. Checked her phone twice in the waiting room. During the massage, she asked the therapist to speed it up because she had a conference call. The call was at 3 a.m. her time. She left halfway through, apologized for wasting our time, and asked if we validated parking. We're on a beach. There's no parking. My Danish coworker watched her jog back to her hotel. Americans don't understand rest, she said. They think relaxation is another task to complete. If you're already noticing how deep this analysis goes beyond the surface. Jokes most people stop at 2. Might want to subscribe now. I break down these cultural patterns every week so you can see what others completely miss. Quick ones. A guy in Copenhagen asked our hotel gym if we had a power meditation class meditation, but faster. In Norway, a tourist complained our mountain hike was unproductive because there was no summit ceremony or certificate. She'd hiked for the experience. Apparently that wasn't enough. Here's what. Americans don't get about stress. The American couple sat down and immediately started competing over who was more exhausted. He had 3 meetings that morning. She had 4. He slept 5 hours. He skipped lunch. She skipped breakfast and lunch. Our menu is small 12 items. Simple Italian food. They spent 20 minutes debating. He wanted the fastest option. She wanted the healthiest option that was also fast. They asked which dish required the least chewing. I suggested the risotto. Fresh, simple, takes 25 minutes. The man looked horrified. 25 minutes? I could answer 15 emails in that time. I told him this was Italy, food takes time. He asked if we could microwave it. We don't have a microwave. He asked why we don't have a microwave. His wife ordered salad. Dressing on the side. No croutons. Extra lemon. Chicken, but grilled dry no oil. She pulled out her laptop while waiting. Started typing aggressively. Her husband asked if she was working. She said, "It's just a few emails." He said we agreed. No work during dinner. She said, "This is relaxing for me." They argued about whose work was more important. She's a consultant. He's in finance. Both claimed they couldn't possibly disconnect. Both checked their phones between every bite. They finished in 12 minutes and asked for the check. Complained the meal took too long. And this instinct to outrun their own exhaustion. It's exactly the kind of pattern most travelers notice, but never decode. If you want the deeper frameworks behind behavior like this, subscribe. Most people only get the story. Subscribers get the structure left. A review saying our service was slow and we don't understand hustle culture. I run Northern Lights tours. 3-hour evening trips into the wilderness. Minimal light pollution. Maximum peace. This American guy signed up, then spent the entire bus ride on a conference call. Loud. Everyone could hear him negotiating a contract. In Finnish culture, we value silence, especially in nature. His call continued as we reached the viewing spot. I gently asked him to finish the call. The lights were starting. He held up one finger. Just wrapping up. 20 minutes later, still talking. Other tourists were annoyed. The lights were incredible, dancing green sheets across the sky. He faced away from them, yelling about quarterly projections. His call finally ended. He turned around. Where are the lights? They'd faded. He'd missed the entire show. He demanded a refund because we didn't tell him when to watch. I explained I'd tried. He said he was closing a major deal and we should have been more insistent. He asked when the next lights would appear. I explained, nature doesn't work on schedules. He asked if we could just call him when they came back. We were 40 kilometers from cell service. He spent the return trip complaining about wasted time. Left a review saying the Northern Lights were overrated and poorly scheduled. A woman rushed in asking for something stronger than coffee. I asked if she meant energy drinks. She said no, like prescriptional level focus medication. I explained, we can't just hand out prescription medication. She seemed shocked. In America, my doctor gives me Adderall for productivity. I told her this is Sweden. We don't prescribe stimulants for work performance. She asked what Swedish people do when they're tired. I said sleep. She stared at me. But what if you have a deadline? She insisted she hadn't slept properly in 4 years. For years, I suggested she see a doctor about sleep issues. She said, I don't have time to fix my sleep. I need something to power through. I explained. Powering through isn't sustainable. She said it's worked fine so far. She asked for melatonin. We have it. She bought 6 bottles. Said she'd take it on the plane ride home, a 9-hour flight she planned to work through. I suggested she use the flight to sleep. She looked at me like I'd suggested she fly the plane herself, sleep on a flight. That's 9 hours of productivity gone. She bought Red Bull instead. 8 cans. An American businessman checked in for a 3-day conference. Immediately asked about our business center hours. I told him 24 hours. He seemed relieved, then asked about our gym hours. Also 24 hours. Even more relieved, next morning he showed up at breakfast furious. Our restaurant opens at 7. He wanted food at 5:30. I explained 7 is early for as most Dutch people eat later. He said, I've already been up 3 hours. I've done a full workout and answered 50 emails. What do people here do all morning? I suggested he try sleeping later. He said that's wasting the day. I mentioned studies show adequate sleep improves productivity. He said, studies are for people who aren't serious about success. He asked if we could open the restaurant early just for him. We can't. Our chef arrives at 6:30. He suggested we hire an earlier chef for one guest. For 3 days, he started ordering room service at 5 a.m., complained it took 20 minutes. Our kitchen opens at 6. He was ordering before we were legally allowed to cook. Final day. He left a review praising our facilities but criticizing our lazy culture. Said Dutch people don't understand. The grinned American tourists came in at 11 p.m., looked exhausted. Asked if we sold sleeping pills. We don't. Convenience stores in Japan don't sell medication. He seemed confused. Then what's the point of being convenient? He bought 4 energy drinks instead. Said he had to finish a presentation for tomorrow. I asked if tomorrow was important. He said it's just a regular client meeting. Just regular. At midnight, in Tokyo, on his vacation, he asked if we had Wi-Fi. We do. He sat on the floor outside our store, laptop balanced on his knees, typing frantically, for 2 hours. We close at 1 a.m. I had to ask him to leave. He seemed surprised we close. But you're a convenience store, I explained. Even convenience stores need to close. He asked where he could work all night. I suggested his hotel. He said his hotel room doesn't feel like a workspace. Came back the next night. Same thing. Energy drinks, laptop, floor. This time he fell asleep against our window at 12:30. I woke him up. He apologized. Said he'd pulled 3 all-nighters this week. He said, just staying on top of things. I asked if his job required this. Said no. He just likes to be ahead. An American woman boarded our regional train with 4 laptops. I checked her ticket. She'd booked first class specifically for workspace. Our first class has tables. That's it. She seemed disappointed. She asked about Wi-Fi speed. I told her trains have basic Wi-Fi, enough for email. She asked about upload speeds for video calls. I said video calls aren't reliable on trains. She looked panicked. I have 3 calls during this trip. The trip was 90 minutes. She had 3 calls scheduled, back to back, on a train, through the countryside. I suggested she reschedule. She said, these people are counting on me. I asked if they knew she was on a train. She said no. First call, connection dropped 4 times. She kept apologizing, blaming European infrastructure. Second call, we went through a tunnel. Total silence for 3 minutes. She emerged frantic. Third call, she gave up, sent an angry email about unreliable German internet. An elderly German man across from her asked why she didn't just enjoy the journey. She said, "I'm building a career. I don't have time to stare at trees." He said, "You have time for 3 failed phone calls." Apparently, she moved seats. Last week, an American guy checked into our wellness resort in Thailand. Expensive place people come here to disconnect. No phones in common areas. No laptops in the spa. Mandatory digital detox. He lasted for hours. He asked if we had an executive package where he could keep his phone. We don't. He said this was discriminatory against business professionals. I explained everyone follows the same rules. Celebrities, executives, everyone. He said his job was different. I asked what he did. Marketing consultant. He insisted clients needed him. I suggested they'd survive a week. He said I didn't understand his industry. Day 2, he tried sneaking his laptop into the meditation garden. Our instructor caught him. He claimed he was just checking one thing. The instructor took the laptop to the office safe. He asked if he could visit it, like conjugal visits for electronics. Day 3, he tried bribing the front desk for Wi-Fi access. Offered $200. We said no. He increased it to $500. Still no. He called us backwards and said we were sabotaging his success. Day 4, he had a breakdown. Actual tears? Said he felt useless without work. Our therapist sat with him. Asked when he'd last taken a real break. He couldn't remember. Before college, maybe by day 6, something shifted. He stopped asking about phones. Started joining activities. Smiled during breakfast. Looked 10 years younger. Checkout day, he thanked us. Said he'd forgotten what relaxation felt like. Then immediately asked if we validated parking so he wouldn't waste time. Getting back to the airport, baby steps. My Swedish coworker was right. Americans treat rest like another optimization problem. They want efficient relaxation, productive meditation, strategic sleep. They've forgotten that doing nothing isn't wasting time, it's the entire point. Next time, Americans. And their very confident opinions about geography. One guy tried to explain to a Swiss person that Switzerland and Sweden are the same country. Spoiler, they are not.